Today, the 23rd day of September 2020. We want to lay na table. What's in the gun right now? Na SierraTel. SierraTel almost they drown. Then ace their hand up. Then say, please, government, come and save we. Government come na the edge of the shores, then team up there at the shores. They watch SierraTel and say, you know what, thing? We're not going to enter this water for save you. But however, we go send somebody we go can save you. In where manner? Government want for privatize SierraTel. SierraTel are the only fully owned telecommunication service in Sierra Leone, where they provide internet and voice calls. But with waiting they go on na SierraTel, government feels the only way we go able to serve SierraTel better, and we, the people of Sierra Leone, waiting go benefits we now for privatize SierraTel. We go can look deep inside as a family how this one get for look like for we all. Make we come with the COVID-19 status update for today. 560 test them, 90 labs them analyze. 560. Out of that 560 day, 9 turn out for be positive. So today, we get 9 new confirmed cases of coronavirus in Leone. Because of this 9, we don't get now a total of 2,183 confirmed cases in Leone. 2,183. For the past 24 hours, nobody no lost in life to COVID-19 in Leone. So the total number of people we don't lost their life to COVID-19 still stand at 72. The one the way government know about, we get COVID-19. Now them body, where they respond to treatment at the different isolation center then at the country, now 446. For the past 24 hours, we get 13 people we don't recover from COVID-19. We don't care the total number of people we don't recover from COVID-19 at the country to 1,665. The one them with the in quarantine na 322. 322. Few weeks ago, we don't go below 200, but still, also we there right now. The number of people who don't discharge from quarantine na 11,186. 11,186. This now we status update, and we hope say we go see better numbers to 0, and we go able for team up strong against this threat. By way manner, we social distance, wear your face mask properly, cover your nose and your mouth, and do within the well body people and they tell we. For even within the diaspora, and they want them within a salon. We come look inside we program proper for today. As I've been tell we earlier on at the headline, for say, SierraTel say they are in dire need of government intervention. They need the government of Sierra Leone for come and resuscitate them, because it's like say, then they die. Government say, the only way we then feel say then go able for resuscitate SierraTel right now, not for privatize them. And then say, if them privatize them, me and you, the people, now we go benefit. The market is there. QCell Day, AfriCell Day, and Orange Day. Then you get Leone, sweet SierraTel. SierraTel, now one of the cheapest in the country. I go give you an example for the kind of bundle we can get for internet. SierraTel, they give you up to, we're even not reach, 3 megabytes for 550,000 monthly. That same one day, you go get them from AfriCell for 900,000. You go get them from Orange for almost the same prices, for 900,000. With SierraTel, they give you for how much? 550,000. So if you look at that, 350,000 less than the other one them. SierraTel one bundle then gets. The other one then get up to. But I can categorically tell you now, yeah, because we've used them for that 1 month, then go make like say, make you feel like say you did see what you did pay for. But at the end of the day, they're as bad as SierraTel in delivering. They are as bad as SierraTel. So make we not say na SierraTel no more. But however, SierraTel, then service within they provide, then customer relationship, you know, go compare them to that of the other one them when a private companies them. You know, go compare with the other one them when a private companies. The other one them, yes, some of them they can think say they're too big, so some of them themselves can falter in customer relationship. But forever, for one reason, SierraTel, you go there 24 hours, you know, go get connection. Nobody go tell you they won't send anything, nothing. But then get unlimited. Now then no more be they do unlimited, but I think say because of the competition, then other one themselves then be think say, you know what thing, we self get for come inside this game and bring unlimited. Because the other one them not be they do unlimited. But SierraTel started with unlimited, then team up day, and then we get for force the other one them for begin for do unlimited. The other one them not be they do unlimited like internet bundle. Then be they give you per gig. You pay for 2 gig, now you use random, that's it. But SierraTel now you pay for month. So SierraTel be able for force. I just want to make you see the benefit with SierraTel being get, since now we are talking about privatization. We go make say, we where they use SierraTel, we get for force now for say, we want use them or we want go to the other one then back. Because now we're going to be paying, because if them privatize them, definitely they want them to get for bump the price for meet up the other one them. Then they for sure. And I know say SierraTel, when they started, it was CDMA, and we get the other one, they went at GSM. So you get all this advantage and disadvantage. But down the road, SierraTel begin for try for me, then they use GSM phones them. But on voice, SierraTel is actually cheaper like how QCell, but you know say them we don't force everybody forget a flow rates now for the voice call, because SierraTel back be cheaper. But most people not they use SierraTel for voice call. Because SierraTel phone be different when I see them like we're in the States now like Sprint phone. Whilst now GSM, you know say a lot of phones them na GSM unlock, you send and go salon they able use them. So now then they be the happen like the Metro PCS, the Sprint and others. But as I said, they try now for work with GSM anyway. But these are all the limitations we SierraTel in begin. But however, it's good government owned day, because I just give you one reason now we make the other companies them they're able for begin for do internet bundle. Unlimited meaning. Because SierraTel started with it and never wavered. Then team up day, and then one and they begin for say most people then they go for SierraTel. So because then they go for SierraTel, then other one then they get no other option. I mean the private companies. Where they refer to the other one there, I mean Orange and Africell, because now later on QCell come. Then we get no other option but for begin for offer bundle for internet. Then say out the MiFi. So that was one good thing SierraTel did to the internet in Sierra Leone. Even though everybody they say SierraTel is government owned. SierraTel is supposed to get the fastest internet. But as then one day they struggle, we where they use SierraTel and so they struggle. We have the modem for every internet providers in Sierra Leone except K whatever it is. I don't forget the name. The one they charge $400 and they will not get them. So what are we saying here? We the Salon people we subscribe to SierraTel. We see say even though the service bad, but the money we pay, it did that way day, because the same service you go get bad back from the other one them. But government saying a privatization na the way to go now. The manager na SierraTel for this anchor, he say people them from high authority can call them for say fire that staff day. That's how it's in claim. When the manager be take over inside October 2019, he come and the first thing we begin for do na for renovate building. People away remember back. And remember say people even at this program, people begin complain say, hey, I think say SierraTel need more than building renovation. By that time, in feel say it trying for paint the image of the company. He say in meet SierraTel almost they die. People they ask say, now he make them make you manager. Now he make them be appoint you. So waiting you don't do. Waiting exactly you don't do for able for raise SierraTel from the ground where you say you meet them for make it team up. Waiting. With that particular word, they will say, thinking column. You feel say you for tina that chair, Say that the column say fire and they you feel say you get for stay long na the chair. But you hear they will command them. They will command them, then they claim say bicycle safe in Nogia, don't work for how many years. But you hear the manager back. The manager in say some of them they pan thief business to you keep corruption. They don't build 2-3 house them. One thing we able point out say, it don't take time for see how them be the try for thief or them be always done the thief pan fuel business. So them be get for slash down they down. It's slash and down so that waiting do then go able for save money. But even at that, the money then they save pan fuel, not able for save the company going down. They were commanded. Now then they call say, do our government can privatize we. The workers them. But the manager say, no, you don't think say the kind way the company they right now, SierraTel, it go wise for me them privatize them. Because they're not there in any way for compete. But other person go say, yes, when I done that time they have the need for privatize them, so the people the way they can up the game. Or according to the manager, if you hear well, in they try for say, okay, because they're not there in way for compete with the other one them, make government up the game first na SierraTel, then they privatize them now. And government don't want to spend the money. They don't want to spend money for privatize nothing. But we all know say inside salon, as long as we talk about the last time, as long as they say this na government owned, it done. Now that one day no more na in salon policy why na government owned.
As soon as the government told, now for thief, now for do all the wrong things them to the institution. So government back, say they don't tire. And tire with SierraTel and complain. SierraTel is not making money. Now they make money. So the best thing is for privatize them. The workers themselves, then they call for for privatization. And on the side they don't maso. Well, then they call for privatization. Or thinking to say because they don't work for so many years, if they can't for let them go, maybe then go pay them. So then go start somewhere else and go start something. And then they call say maybe they can privatize. Okay. Government diary. Last pathway the Minister of Information say. This is the main reason where people in the call say when you come inside government, when you come inside governance, you for try for whip you and come out by the political party and also anything we get for do with your party in administration. He say, the person really in charge of privatization, na chairman, na the political party. And he need people for win election. So he believes say that person they not go do that. What about on the contrary? What about on the contrary? Say he one pull them one the way he feels say they na the other side and bring their own because he need people for win election. Based on waiting me and you Yeri with the managing director say, he gets calls from above for fire people certain people And if you check, now based on political grounds. And they ask him about waiting. They ask him about this interference in with privatization. Privatization was not the question. Rather, we don't hear now about this political interference. And even the minister tell back say, now due to political interference, everything. And this particular manager, managing director, now just 2019 October, now he take over. And he complain the same thing. The same thing now they complain no. And at the same time back, the minister, they say they inherit. So what are we trying to say here? When then can they talk, we can they actually listen? We can they listen? Okay. You go say the workers themselves now, then they call, say, let them privatize. The manager, they say no. But from what the manager don't come in, what he go show, we say he don't do for save. Or there is nothing they could do unless government intervene. Because the way it is, he say yes, then can they up to 1 month, 1.5 months, they not pay the workers them. You know what in that one they mean? It means say, let's say now January, then for pay you January, Then they pay you say the mid of March, then they pay you for January. And it seems as if it's kind of okay to waiting the manager at the top. So meaning not talking up to 3 months. Ibadi say now maybe 1 month or 1.5 months. And then they able for pay the workers them. So if the workers then they complain now say, look from so and so month 30 then they not pay me it. If now inside mid-March you they can't pay me for January, when are you going to pay me for February? Who's them? You go pay me for February. You feel say the privatization of SierraTel not the only way? Not the only way for save SierraTel? Make a come with Tony. Make we hear waiting on your take on today on discussion about SierraTel.
Yes, Tony, you get the platform, sir.
Yes, Abraham, good evening. Good evening, or good afternoon, if I'm going to listen. It's really, really sad because the reason why I make us say it's sad because it's like we're losing everything we own as Sierra Leoneans. Nothing we for the benefit from directly, benefit in a sense wherein some of those profits or proceeds we generate from those companies should be plowed back into Sierra Leone. But when you talk about privatizations, most of what they happen, you privatize this company and sell them to foreign companies where at the end of the day, whatever dividend whether they get or whatever profits whether they make, and they send them back into the home. You understand? And it's very difficult for we benefit directly, majorly. So if you look, even we refine what we get in those days, we sell. So many things we sell. That's what today sell not begin. You know, Solomon will say, we not to business, Solomon not to businessman. But I'll tell you something, the problem we have in managing some of these organizations is that we mismanage them. It's like you get a maladministration wherein they know the problems. Some of these people know the problems, but basically what is happening, there is no controls. And when you talk about management, it ain't that sequence where you talk about planning, organizing, directing, this, that. And the last of it, it's control. Even with personal lives then. If you don't plan your life, say I want to be this in life, when I self-actualization, you don't become what you want to be and this and that. If the last one, which is control, you know the control of your life, everything they go down like that. Everything they go down the drain. You know, controls now one of the problems where we get. Now, most of them institutions, 99% of government institutions, there's so many orders from above, interference and everything. I work in the telecom industry for 9 years, and I grew through the ranks. You understand? Telecom now, one business will get money. Now, one business. Now, we take, for example, I take example from Safaricom. I always take Kenya, for example, on this one. Safaricom is owned by the government before they even sell shares to Vodafone, where they sell 40% of their shares. You understand? 60% was with them. And what you make they sell, you understand, because they want to acquire more capital. They swearing they want to compete more. Safaricom is the leading telecommunication company in Kenya. They have Vodafone, they have Orange, they have MTN, all these players. SierraTel in Kenya, but Safaricom is number one. Vodafone get 40%. Recently, the Safaricom has to sell 25% of their share to the public, and these are Kenyans who buy shares. So at the end of the day, when they share profits or whatever, this money, if Vodafone not taking on 25%, they go back to the people then. To the public. You understand? We're not able to replicate some of those good things, how people in the managed companies elsewhere where they make profits. Even when look how it is. When you 10% things go down to Sierra Leone, how much custom you pay globally. We first time we get to a shipping agency. Governments get for really go back to the drawing board. For me, I don't think it's the best idea in just privatizing. You understand? Some of this money when they get from World Bank or international or whatever, where they come as grants, these funds, they can use some of these funds for revamp some of these institutions. They can revamp them because these are profit institutions. If you sell, imagine they can't sell, and then the person they sell them to, within a few years, you see they make profits. Now it's slap my face. So what was the missing link? Why this person will sell they make money now, and when we be the manager, we know they make money. It's several institutions where government don't sell. When they sell, you see the institution coming in, then they make money. Just like I can always compare private school and public schools owned by government. Why private schools then they do well, the government schools then they do well. Some of these are the things we're talking about. When you allow these institutions, you get so many involvement. You put square pegs in round holes. You say fire that man. They say that man the way they perform, where they actually give mileage. You say let them fire them because in surname or because you see and say the last administration they may get party there and I'm the president with so. You say now let them fire them. You bring in your party person or you bring in somebody where you recommend will not get the required skills. What do you think? You understand? And another thing again affecting some of these institutions, they raise the bar too high. Most of this check. Most of these institutions that are not making money, if you see the salary where the executive that they get, it's very huge. It's very, very, very high. The salary structures. What did SierraTel do or SierraTel from SierraTel this? When they notice the market is so challenging, Sierra Leone one market was very, very challenging, because imagine you only 200 and more sites with a private generator. Because imagine you're using diesel. You want 200 sites in a saloon with generator. Nuclear overheads are high. So whatever way you make as revenue, what you make as work coming, it is slash back. It is slash because the overheads, you take about wear and tear of them generator in day. You take maintenance cost. You take the security they within their sites in day. It's so much. So they are not making money. Most times when we talk in I am not for say we can want for pull of the government, but so many platforms where the government need for set in running this institution for make them make profits. Imagine the man tell you say they be the thief diesel. It cuts them down. You understand what I mean? You say they sell for, you say some of them things that they affect this company for let them not grow. Because you got all these little things then. And SierraTel for me, they need for change their way of doing business. The way of doing business, what is SierraTel do before SierraTel to Zen and SierraTel? They outsource plenty of those functions. Now they outsource drivers. If there's and outsourcing, the reason why they outsource certain function, that because you want for save cost. If you know, say we get 50 drivers, and when you have 50 drivers, you have to pay them every month. You have to give them medical facility. You have to give them everything and this and that. You understand? What does SierraTel do? Or SierraTel, they outsource that function to a private person, to either a Sierra Leonean or whoever. So okay, you provide with vehicle and driver. So what they take is fueling. You understand? It's fueling of the vehicle. That's the thing what they take. You understand? But if you get you have different ministries then where you have to pay. You have to pay this, you have to pay. At the end of the day, your salary structure or your wages and salary, the figure so huge, you're not making that revenue. And because they make that revenue, it affects. It affects you either. You earn in before interest and tax, depreciation and amortization. It affects them greatly. At the end of the day, this is why they are crying, because their overhead is very high. So what in government, for me, the government can do, those people where they would on the 10 years, 15 years, this year, or whatever we don't do, if they're capable for pay some of them one and they wait, what they work, pay them off. Because any company where they come now, imagine they get for look what they call due diligence. They get for look at the assets of the company. They have to look at the liabilities. And if the liability is so high, they don't go pay better. I see we are in the MD they talk, make them not sell. Because if you want for sell now, whether they can't take a company where there's so many debts. You understand what I mean? Except they go for say, okay, I mean that's some of those people then they just like how we see how Millicom close. You understand what I mean? When people then 30 the people then they cry, do not get the benefits. Millicom just close the that. So any company where they come, it depends on the negotiation where they come with. So governments get for look at some of them things their way. They know they say low sell. For me, it's not a good idea. It's not really a good idea.
I want to hold you on that quick, Tony, because I can't with you, because just like how you explain, like you always tell people, and I say you don't work on the telecommunication system in Sierra Leone, and you don't did it for years, so you know exactly how this the work. Now I make when I talk, I say waiting then workers here know or waiting they don't know. When I then they call for privatization, whereas the MD, just like how you make mention, the MD they say no, right now in a bad market. If they say for sale, it go mona. But the workers then they call say made and sell. Waiting they know what the MD don't know. Waiting the MD know where they don't know.
Well, basically then just anticipate say if there is another player can take over them, the person who can take the assets and liabilities. And not to all companies, they can take assets and liabilities. Some people, then when they can negotiate, they therefore look the viability of the companies. Is this company within 5 years going for make profit? Because if me, they take over a company, we not get Boku customer, I will sell. Let us say something. SierraTel, AfriCell London at the market for past 5 years for sale. Nobody no come for buy them. Why? Because most companies they look at the advantage and say, I mean they can buy AfriCell Leone now Gambia and Sierra Leone more than they. Most companies are waiting they cannot for buy. Then they look say if they buy a whole lot. if SierraTel or say, I can't buy SierraTel me the Guinea or the be there Liberia, them did this, I can't buy a whole company, probably I will inherit one, and they assisted there is a whole package where they with. Fine. But this is just Sierra Leone. And Sierra Leone, for example, how many subscribers do you think SierraTel have? And SierraTel, the equipment they use, no, absolute, outdated. It's CDMA they're using. So for let them get for compete with other operators in the market, they go for align themselves with modern technology. They go for align themselves with modern things happening. You understand? It's not just internet. Internet is just one stream of revenue. You're talking about voice. When you talk about mobile companies, it's not just internet. You're talking about voice. And the revenue base, now from voice they come out. Where people they buy the card and scratch and then put them, now they the revenue sit down. So if they cannot compete on voice, you understand, not to just data. You understand? You don't forget all the stream, them, all the revenue stream, make sure so you're able to compete in all the areas in it. Don't foresee they not get in, and people then will get the ideas. I've worked with a lot of them with the work with SierraTel. But Rawil is one, who was my colleague. You understand? They have good people, but just what we describe for saying there is mismanagement. Trust me, there is all mismanagement in telecom business. Now, business will get money, Abraham. It's a viable business. If you see SierraTel, you see Orange and everything. Okay, so people then will say they're getting outside revenue, they're getting outside backup from the home company because some of these companies are just subsidiary companies. They have their holding companies abroad where they finance them. You understand? From the consolidated funds. Because at the end of the day, most of these companies, they prepare their own individual financial statements. Then home company prepare a consolidated account where if anyone they go down, we need resources, then just they take from the consolidated fund and send out a saloon. If they see SierraTel, Orange, they strain a saloon, and they needed funds, then we take from the consolidated and back up and send a saloon for them able for upgrade to whatever they need. But for SierraTel, we don't have it. So the only consolidated or the only side they can get back up is the government. So if government then they try to shun their own responsibility, say, will they sell? Whatever can take SierraTel go for make them a very valuable player. You understand? You therefore come. So probably they can do a presentation with MTN. Because for me, if you want to make let's say SierraTel team up, you can go and do a presentation with MTN. Say, MTN, look, we're ready for sell 50% shares donor. MTN would love to come to Sierra Leone because MTN for long one for cancer. Because most of the companies they prefer for spread where they get, like, for instance, MTN the Guinea, MTN the Liberia. Then go like for cancer loan, just like our Orange, they Liberia, then they Guinea. As SierraTel said, then they say, we they come in, we want for they want for acquire. The more they acquire, the more they get more subscriber base. You understand? So basically, they are looking at that and say, because in the minister is saying here, they have people that don't go find in the bid and everything. It's not about going find the bid. You want a company where go come able for provide more jobs. For the people there more jobs. Remember, if you take Safaricom in Kenya, they have over 6,000 employees. Over 6,000. If you have the companies like that to come to Sierra Leone, if you provide 3,000, you understand, in telecom, it's a big space. It's a big space, so don't know, feel big vacuum. You understand? So it's not about selling. But the thing when we get concerned is, it's not about government selling institutions. It's about government go back to the drawing board. How can we allow these institutions to run independent without our interference, without anything? Give these leaders or the management a free hand so they can operate. This is how these private mobile companies who are making money, that's how they run. That's how they run. Some cost them with us. They say this cost is very huge. We cannot cope. It's very huge. They outsource. SierraTel, they reach them, and Mr. SierraTel, Orange, they reach them. They outsource the customer care, 111. They outsource it to a private company. They reach them. People then when they clean, when they say housekeeping, they outsource them to one guy where they put on road. You understand? They say, okay, take up this area, you take this cost. So they focus more on core areas, finance, HR, the telecom area, the switch and everything. So they cut their cost. And when you outsource, you save cost. Because how they spend 10 million, if I outsource them to Abraham ain't go ready for say, outsource them to me. Definitely, If I would spend 10 million, now 80 million I go to give Abraham. So I don't save 20%. If the drivers, they pay 100 million every month, back benefits, this and that, everything. I'll source and to Usman Soli. Usman, if now 100 million I'm going to spend, Usman Soli ready for carrier, and I will pay Usman Soli 80 million every year, which means I don't save 20%. So in certain areas, the best way they can do it, outsource some of the functions. Where if you say these are areas where now like a lead on your wages and salary, or probably on maintenance, or probably on everything, or they can go back to the drawing board and say, let us co-locate. You go surprise or say there are certain sites where we get in a salon, Africell and Orange are the same pole and they. For just cost, they have what we call when to say low co-locate. Go meet Africell. Africell say, one we exchange 5 pole. Me they give 5 pole where you go and you tower, you mask and radio and everything. Pan. We say they give 5 star where you go. Just for cost. One major star where mobile companies in the spend. What they always tell you. Now power. If SierraTel can come up with that model, say okay, model, and say, okay, let us arrange with these players they're waiting at the market we already do establish. Let us co-locate. But how will they co-locate? Now CDMA they use. Their own revenue is difficult. Just like you outlined in the opening. You understand? So they have to go back. I don't think it's the best solution, privatizing all these institutions. Even it's SierraPost. Inquire how much they pay the MD. Just inquire how much they pay the MD. He's among one of the top payers business costs. This institution are not making money on you guys, they pay them people there. So you therefore go back and cut the cost. You know what cost you know they live more than your lives, you know they live more than your income. Once you live more than your income, you will get a deficit. And SierraTel now they get just like I say foreign help. It's just the government. Those are not able to pay. The government for coming, the government not gets what I go get it. You understand, eh? So I'm not just want to steal the show, but it's a challenging market, especially Sierra Leone. It's a challenging market. It's really a challenging market wherein you get so many interference, government interference. Look like NIC. NIC, these were big companies those days. Where would they come up? National Insurance Company. Where are they? Just government interference. So they just, because as a country can say, going concern, they play just for them grab, just like a Kroman will say, before they grab. This institution should be number one. Don't for them even for expand, go to Guinea, go to other countries, and waiting for the operate. But they're just within Sierra Leone. Why? Government interference. Sierra Leone, Sierra Leone with the top ups right now. We got so many interference when it comes to government institutions. So many interference. I work for the telecom for 9 years, Abraham. As manager, not to visit, I don't know what's in the airport. Telecom get money. The business were really viable. If government can able to inject, go back to the drawing board. Where are the problems? We want for loan be an established. Because mind you, outsource to any foreign companies, they're going back. Whatever they get, then they take them back. So it's not the best idea. I don't feel so.
Very much, Tony. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Make we count us friend, make we what's in get for we on this one. Yes, us friend, you get the platform, sir.
Yeah, hello Triple A. Thank you very much for giving the platform. And thanks to previous analyst, Tony, and welcome to all of viewers and listeners here. Me want to take this year, so government get for really look into this year a very serious way. The most key word we want to emphasize there for them to do, now for them to become very creative and imaginative. In other words, the approach they use, they become a very creative and imaginative way. In the imaginative side, let them not imagine in terms of privatization, where they come for individual benefits instead of it go for the citizens or for the whole country. We don't say the kingdom they dilapidate. Because even myself, when you talk about user, I remember the last time I ever just go use SierraTel, that was because they cannot be there, because that thing will be trapped now, because no we will come out, we depend be this. So around go, they will tell me sister and go help the mommy. So coming can go help them. But all was the situation, if one be meters, it was dilapidated, but that 10 day night, they see cops, then and so on. But let's leave that. That was the time of the war. Look, now what it don't happen, what then they say. Then they talk about how even the toilets, they're not even good. And then they talk about their own conditions of service that are for the workers then. All right, the government said they don't they look, see, then why they know they produce anything. Like a cause fig tree, we don't cause I know for grow again, and that should have not been. Instead, then before don't they get a method of pruning the tree instead of they allow the tree, the branches that wouldn't grow. And how then before don't do this at an early stage for all the precedent and don't precede now this government. Then if we don't apply a method wherein as the globalization they go, based on waiting then they use as CDME methods and the types of infrastructure and the logistic and the assets they all wouldn't get, then you can't see them before don't they try to upkeep them for meet up this. But at a point, the race can be see them left them far. How they go catch up now before don't need a total demolition and build up the place. Wherein they go for able getting facility away mobile phone they provide. Not that they not be able to get them more. But in terms of management, you look about that bit side, they say people every day where they don't make money for themselves, then in don't come, they try for restructure, but in don't get the funds. But the problem is this. So you can't see all around it a problem of funds and development. But then if you don't develop them for catch up with this, because that's not other government assets and other source of government revenue, like how to don't emphasize within the thing they produce. Communication as globalization be the communal be lucky our left I got the hour left in a mobile phone come out. So that point day of all that one, and if we don't just try and catch up. But whoever been did it, you know, been get that creative idea and how for manage and how for understand, say, la will get new innovatives, what will create, la give this to the government, la show them. Or the government minister who can run department, they say things, say, this is what in the world they chase now. And at this not alone, now this one for see and for go. So we say if we make them up for leg, we catch up. Instead of we left and they say we allow private organization and come, then when they can now we can't get something when a sal cap, we go able when they try for give them this, when they give them this, then we left that one day isolate. We instead they generate something similar to the public. So that area they force around it. So it can now waiting them for don't for do now, we then where they present so. I think going for don't look privatization, where the National Commission for Privatization time for recommend, or they look at based on politics for say people are not going to do their function because of the politics. Either they sabotage or they try for get in your way. Because I try for bring when in note per interview say this wire it will likely use them for campaign or one campaign on this. And you don't emphasize them points there in two different areas then. But that side they until that tomorrow they come we will left and because the same day utter that statement they still. But the idea where it before them go try for low, you don't give the idea of a dinosaur. Illustrate them, say that thing like a dinosaur. We don't look extinct because able for meet with the system. But what it make the thing not able because that one is a natural thing. Actually, even though it get example, where a natural thing, activity they don't make in life, get no way again, we will adapt. So, but here now, government gets their own method, where them before don't apply, not in the dinosaur side, because then they get the material for let them for able for meet up that in the eye cope. Like me, illustrate, I say the race where them begin, they for not able to chase that race of globalization. So that globalization in the try for bring in the terms of extinction, but the area it puts itself say now then don't meet them, it don't spoil so much that they cannot repair it. So the only option are for privatize them. The privatize them with the one way they don't put a bulk money where they say let we suicide funds then they come. Development funds then they come at the country. Some of them funds they allow no say we go put inside where we for don't promise, then we don't go put that we can't do. But who side go do, low put on day, so that one day go able for catch up. In other words, like businessman, they look the market where they go for good buy. Since you don't go perish quick, this one rich, I will sell them quick, and then I know we don't they sell no more say I don't sell them, I don't eat all the profit. Now wherein I they get the profit instantly. So all those kind of things, then therefore look into them because when you look actually privatization, if they do it in the proper way, because like in the UK other places, I see even them privatize the Royal Mail. But why you not be able to do an early stage? Margaret Thatcher be the secure the head of the crown of the queen. say the crown of the queen is secure, so they're not going to sell and to other person for can do what you want. But even at some point, when they go for privatization, what did they do? They introduce, let people buy stocks. I mean, so that they go buy stock inside it. So someone will pay 10p, 20p, or £1, just like that. Then just create a fund where you will put towards that one day, 2 years ago. Then when the profits come, then they give towards ratio. And it fall within the citizens. That at least what they want for sale and privatize them. So I think, say, what about them when they get youths and dinner and what they do entrepreneurship? They get a program, they run now high. They see all those small bodies. They see and then they even promote them. Why they're not going to bring up some of them things there to some of those who don't qualify? Say, let we introduce una for do them thing there. Una they give una this money, you na your money, like that money when they give that man say go do your farm. You na this money, put it inside that one day, you self buy a stake. Then when the fund come, we the government will provide the assets them where the building wants, will they repair them at some point. So that percentage they count to we. Then the 60% or 50 will they sell on to una. So una they get the money. So the money back they count to una. So una said go develop una self. Then it will develop the country. Instead of them looking from the other perspective, where they will privatize and with the company we go come. And remember when the company they come, now something where Tony Billy mentioned when they talk about consolidated funds. Well, this in terms of this area, now me go look and like what is that they say stock exchange. Because we not go get stock exchange. When the private body they come from overseas, then go they deal with the business based on the stock exchange where they go on. So you see I go they affect we instantly, the heartbeats they go directly because like the fund what they get and then they bring, so then one for sell them in how the market they go. Because then sell that money, they don't go just take the money likely. Then go likely buy them in form of gold or diamond for secure that money. They because like how the world they go so now so boku, then they secure then your money now the banks they now. But now we even say they even get for change down to the money. Now, in other words, it comes to the bank wherein you get the monetary section of the government where they try for like the Bank of Salon now. So then get for get their own money, then will transfer there, and the money will then will put there for change into dollar for let go. But that area they will try to try for say the stock exchange, it then go look into them instead of then go look waiting we in money value. So that's why they now instead of the privatization where other countries they then get the stock exchange now the system because then they under them. We now we only time maybe we stock exchange will come now when the bank of Salon they try to sell something towards like when they say una GDP, una gross domestic product una go sell when they go bring money to una. But we not get out direct one day. So for that we therefore think about and twice. Instead of them say they go ask politicians then for those car, then put. Instead of them make it into a national, they make it into an international one, then they make a national one. And then let them try revamp the place and try for no say, then they try for compete with waiting the world day now. But if they privatize and let them look into these areas, they can privatize it with people that within the country instead of politicians then hold stock there. So you'll be able to profit the government and the salon, and it will profit the country as a whole. Thank you very much for giving me the platform.
Thank you very much, Uswen. Thank you, sir.
You're most welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Make we come with doctor. Make we hear what in get for we on this one. Yes, Dr. Aissatou Kakejalo, you get the platform.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope everybody do well, and thanks to the previous analysts, Fred and Tony, for their contribution. And in terms of what we take from this whole thing, for sale, SierraTel, because, they need to do well. And obviously not the right way to go because, selling all these government, owned companies them, they help the government grow, they help the country grow. It just go to, lose revenues, and how you go ensure say where you don't sell them company out. So all the people that will be get job, with the company for say them will get them job, or they will keep their job to the new company where you sell them to. Because sometimes people that will buy a company for make on their own, they can come with their own standards. Them if not something where the employees are not able for maintain or keep to, then we end up for lose their job, and then they can create more problem with economy, because people that they work, they're not going to pay taxes, they're not going to contribute to the society, and that will for add to the burden, for the people in the country. So, and I want to agree with Tony that, before you say they sell really, for outsource, certain things and where say they do well in, for maintain the company until you say you will save money, and then try for restructure things, and now the company will really help. We see this they happen a lot now the healthcare sector. For me own job in general, Saturday, there was a time they feel say, the city, because a city hospital, get 11 hospitals, them, they need for close some of them or try for lay people them out. We did a lean project where, we discuss, where now some of the things them we say, then there's too much waste, or there's too much, resources are needed. So what thing they can do, let's say the housekeeping, section, then try for, privatized, and they're not privatized actually, they outsourced it. They outsource it to a company that would send, staff to come do the cleaning, and also the linen service, then also do that for some time. And the dialysis service, they do that in the back for some time. But when they do the dialysis, what thing end up happening? All the nurses, them way they work at that department, and they then therefore, move them to different places, them where we say the person don't did it for years, so like if luckily, they will find other areas for them within the hospital. If they're not able to find for you areas, then what thing therefore end up happening? You lost your job, and then they do the same thing with the nutritional, the diet services, then the outsourced standing, which then they actually still they go on, but then them be able back for reinstate the dialysis service, because they still say that was very, essential part of the hospital. But within that time period, then still say they be able to save some money, but then they also look at, the staff members, then we don't in at the hospital for some time, So if even like right now, I'm in department, there was a time that was last year, they do an inspection, there are certain things that there are certain requirements that are needed, they say, okay, they're not going to compound, chemotherapy again within that section, the hospital system, which is health and hospitals, need for ensure they don't correct all those things that we don't do a citation on. So while then they do that, what they do, then outsource the chemotherapy, compounding to somewhere in Brooklyn, even though it take longer. Now the patient needs to come like maybe 2 days, ahead of time compared to when they come like 24 hours for the blood work, just for ensure that the orders then everybody have to work together collectively, physicians, or nurses, everybody have to work to ensure that the orders and the patient is informed, and so that we will get everything. But while doing that, because for some chemotherapies, very costly, some them doing $100,000, where if not like a private institution, this person not get insurance, right? If they've been decide for close that department, they just because then feel say they're not going to afford the money for fix that area, and say wait, let all the patients then wait, it will be very critical, so then decide for outsource, for save money, and then try for work on that area, which they still not don't fix it, and then, like hospital, they deal with people that when are low income earners, them where they say many of them too don't even have insurances, so they really depend on the city or people that pay taxes to pay their medical bills. Some people that actually don't get like terminal, this type of illnesses, they get laws in New York where really, actually when you go to a city hospital, they get care. You may not get care in these elite hospitals, but you definitely get care, within the city system. And these are good hospitals. It's just that the name, the other hospitals, then they promote themselves, may want to stand out there, with this, because you provide to many people, then we don't get money for pay. So then you end up for, take so many falls, like, patients that will not get insurance, patients that will not Medicaid, then get. But now with the Obamacare, most of them, they left the city. Then you go to other, hospitals, then because other hospitals don't begin to take Medicaid. So what do you make I say this? I say this because, if you try for cutback on certain areas, then where see they affect, your business or the service where you provide out there, and try for save money by just giving it to somebody else to come in and do the service for you for a short period of time, and then invest that money there into promoting your product or your business. That's going to be beneficial, for the citizens of that country, because some people then depend on government-owned facilities because they're not able to afford for, pay for the expensive one. If SierraTel and the other companies, then where they offer telephone, services or data services, maybe let's say, even if not 10%, it make a difference to that person. They say, I will pay a little bit less here, because the more people that you really get within your company, the more you will make money. The money may not be too much, for each individual, but because you get a larger population of people, them you make money that way. So definitely, I think the concern would be for the citizens, them, as well as, the people that we really call for sale. Let them not forget, because if you not do well by the new company, then they lay you off, and then you go there, you not get a job, right? So the government, not for they always they decide for just sell companies them. So which one then now, then will really call them which one will really call, say, this is not a Sierra Leonean, on a government, institution or like company that we could rely on in case of any whether why they don't left, like if SierraTel or the other company decide to leave. So which one in the public therefore rely on? So that me not really say not the right thing to do. I think say them for try for maintain this and try for improve on areas then we don't know say they don't improve. That will really help SierraTel and a company they should try for really keep, and that me think. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Then we go through some of the comments in Facebook. David Banks will say, if they get plenty competition by the telecommunication business na salon, it will move forward and faster and pay little less in services where then they provide. So then they ask government for give we chance with the salon people and for buy into shares where they inside SierraTel. And in believe say we na the diaspora beaucoup pa we go able for do for buy shares na SierraTel. Sahid Kose, he say privatization no good for third world country like Salon, especially with the sell to foreigner. He said the dumbest way Salon go do and for privatize a betting company. This company increased the pressure to the limited foreign currencies and the competition for acquire forex increase dramatically because the private companies they no need with loans than just even responsible in corruption and banks. Okay, make a out the first caller now. We want to be part of the program. Yes, caller, you live on the air. Your name and inside the call from, please.
Yes, this is not George from Boston.
Yes, George, you get 3 minutes, sir.
Yeah, so I don't every way Doc they respond and Tony Jones Tony truly respond. So the idea is like I'm not saying sell it, then the one that we depend on the SierraTel because of cheaper service, then they suffer. But the idea is you can still privatize them. Then the government, because these private companies will be paying taxes to the government, then the government will get a tax break for providing services for the people that are within at the lower end of the spectrum. So either way, you're not denying them the service because they are getting tax break, and that's an incentive, right? But the thing is, when you look at government agencies, right, government is good as distribution. For example, like even in the United States, you get like FEMA, right? FEMA is good. FEMA collect taxes. Federal government, they collect taxes. We get disaster. What do they do? Then they distribute the money. They outsource them to private companies that for respond to these disasters. They can do it themselves because it's more expensive. So anytime you get private government-run agencies, now the same problem you always get. Don't look at they talk about some hospitals. Don't look at all the hospitals, even in Massachusetts here. You compare Boston Medical, when a government hospital, they compare some other private stuff, some other private hospitals. Then when you go now the government hospital like Boston Medical, where majority people in the inner city, then when they will afford healthcare, that is go. But look at the wait time. The wait time and the quality of care compared to these other places, they are poor. So what do you need to do? When you get Medicare, Medicaid, right? Then they give other hospitals an incentive for accept these people here who are going to Boston Medical. So that way, not to all man they're going to Boston Medical, where the wait line, where you go to 4 hours they take you. But if you go to a private hospital company, where they take Medicaid and Medicare, and these insurances, it go take you less than I can go to hospital. I will do a checkup and then I go walk. But if you go to Boston Medical, it's impossible. You will never be able to do that because the wait line is 4 hours. When you call for anything, prescription, whatever it is, they will never get back to you. But if you go to private companies, then as soon as you call, somebody will say, okay, the doctor will get back to you. Whether not a employer-based insurance you get or now government insurance you get. But because now they accept them because, again, the government don't give the incentive for accept. Because first then they say no, because the reimbursement rate been so low, and then they delay. You see? But now they don't give them, say, okay, no, if I accept them people there, would they give an incentive to them so that they don't need to congregate in one hospital. So this is the thing. We're not to say get rid of the SierraTel so that the one that we depend on and go so far. No. But government, because the thing is about government, you know. One small. Even before I know the government is very poor at a lot of things. People for go work in the morning, people they go on agriculture engineering, they go on CTC, then they drag their foot of money. So money they reach the 10, 12 o'clock. Right? Then 1 o'clock, it can't break. 1 p.m. Right? He hasn't done anything. She hasn't done anything for the day. Right? It not produce, it not do anything. Then, at the end of the month again, it won't let government pay them. Right? If government not pay, they begin complain. But then they look at the side and where they haven't been productive. You see, the government not pay me, but they even, because not let the clock in, some money they even show up. You see, the money they even show. You know that then government agencies, the money they even show up. Not to that, we will come, all the people they come first, they begin to visit their company, then office, then they wait them for make sure the people are doing their job. But it's not a private company. AAA. If you don't work for private company in this country, you don't work for any private company. If you not show up at work at 8 o'clock at a certain time, if you not do what you're supposed to do, because it's for profit. It's for profit. They know that your productivity, when you show up, you're productive. It depends on that's how they set goals. Them, they just don't know for the status quo. What you make is you say all them building, what they talk about say, oh, they're all they're in disrepair. Why? Because it's run by agencies, these government agencies. If it's not privatized, when they set goals, them of course. Why they compete with somebody? If I go to SierraTel office, look the makeup. This is the first impression. Why go salon? Why go to officer office them? Why go to the other office them? You want the air condition is so welcoming. People are so friendly. Why? So if you get the means, you go and pay more. You want to pay more, and if the service, the quality of service is good, you don't mind for pay. But when you go to government, we're going to government office there. Okay, yes, they subsidize sometimes, but again, even that subsidy, the less subsidy, then we look at the quality of service. Why? They look for improvement because it's the status quo. The buck doesn't stop with anybody. When it comes to government-run agencies, the buck does not stop with anybody.
So before I let you go, George, you think, say, government for give opportunity to Sierra Leoneans them, for, let's say, because right now government get 100% shares, then sell 50% to Sierra Leoneans, that we go come in, we want for help for resuscitate, rather than go private?
Yeah, that would be a good idea, but would I provide oversight for would I get the interest of the public? we will invest. If that company go down the drain, how do you recover your money? Now this country is able to do that, all right? Because there are insurances. And now this country is able to do that. But if you go by share na salon, with the hope of making some type of profit, if the company would just if we had to provide oversight, would you go trust go doing at the board? We go there on the board where they represent you. You see, what they go do? They go to cook the books. They go to cook the books. Say, hey, we have to make some profit, which of course, like goes profit. At the end of the day, by the time the defense say the company go down the drain, you can't hold anybody accountable. So that's a good idea. That would be something an ideal thing to do. But the problem is who's going to provide oversight? Who will get the interest of the public? And you know me and you know say. Now that country, we see them go to one, they will just draw the person where get the public interest, then go bribe them, then go buy them. Then they cook the books, then they make counterfeit accounting. Then at the end of the day, the people will end up even losing more money. So which is even worse than privatization. So that's my own take.
All right, thank you very much, George.
All right.
Okay, George don't make an interesting one. Whereas, I be the asked question earlier, say, how we go able for resuscitate SierraTel, we are Sierra Leoneans. We come in, government get 100% right now, then she ban 50-50. Sell shares to Sierra Leonean, 50%. Then we see how we self go able for see, we knock with Chelsea, we will be able for help for build SierraTel. But George on the other hand say yes, it will be good. But who that go represent we? You don't see who say the system where we just not believe in the country, where we no say no day, where we go able for held people accountable. Because at the end of the day, if the business go bad, who that will get for all forget to money back? Remember how many banks them within a salon we close, where people in a salon today we not get their money them back because them banks then close. Workers them, we can name a few because there's no say Comion, Millicom, people then be the strike 19 and the way them be closed. Some people then say now they complain say they not be get their money them back. Where them be don't work, them be owe them, or some people them na salon. Make you call this caller. Yes, caller, they live on here. You name and side the call from, please.
Yeah, Triple A, good afternoon, everybody. It's Omar from the Sun.
You get 3 minutes, sir.
Yeah. Let me tell you, my brother, let them sell the place. Let them sell the place. The government cut a loss. That last caller we talk, they make a very good point. The government cut a loss and move on. Nobody know the way they run business for loss. But me and you know the way how human being, how people then take anything when a government property. I've been in Africa in 2014 where that mining place na Losar Bido. I know a couple of young guys them in the area. With them they come weekend. With them they explain to you. The way then they emphasize how the white people are serious. How did they tell us, say, little things if you do them, you fired. They made a joke because not company. But if na Sierra Leone didn't get a mining company there, somebody they didn't have free tongue, they collect pay. They didn't go there. Yeah, self. When it happen. Anybody with it na the podium right now with the listen. If you get job na the DA, then federal job. The DA, I know a lot of losses now where they went for the work na the DA. As soon as they don't go through the probation, that's it. The only reason now they make them not kill, they're not parent, they not kill patients. But all kind of nonsense. Same thing when you get a county job now or state job, all kind of nonsense. But when you go work in a private hospital, then they do you like singing a prisoner. You sneeze if they wonder why you sneeze. Because we get that company, it don't say where they wrong. The counter they say, because this have been good at sled back in the days. This company, even when I go 2014, I get fumbled up with the talk saying now one of the good company, the system good compared to the other two that we did it. But the problem here is Why did they go so much down the drain? Because the people, they not take anything when a government, they're not taken serious. Nobody know the way they run business for us. If not private person, if not salam, if not private person, I ain't been get that company there. Just like where Tony be they say. You see that they carry nonsense, they need to SierraTel. I know somebody to work for Orange. 8 o'clock in the morning, the time wait for the day, don't go there. But the government comes, the people, even done with government, they're hospital, around the 1 month, they not pay me. A lot of the tests around the 6 months, they not pay me. Ask them inside that 6 months, how many days they go work? They not even work reach 30 days. But in Christ, I don't work 6 months, they not pay me. This now with problem in Africa. You have to some country company that they emerge. T-Mobile, take over Metro PC. Now they don't even emerge with Sprint. We've been getting our Time Warner. Spectrum come in and take them over. It happens. When you know they do business yourself, you've been there. We see all the time. Some of what gets smart back then at the stock market. We see a company that they buy companies in. It happens. Not to sell, not to default. If they never make money, let us sell them, then cut to the loss. Because just like what in that last caller said, if they go sell 50% share to Sierra Leone, would I trust for sit down at the board? Would I go for the one you back? When they say board meeting, look the one that we can go put the money for life insurance, not sit for old thing. Not to the money on long go to people and they work, then they take the money, they sit and they put up for their pension or the life insurance. Not to left so. Would be a little argument during the last government where them people and the money all long go. Nobody know they give what they even give in money. The government business so. Nobody know they people and they contribute the money and then tell them, say this is a good investment. Would they take them out of your paycheck? They take the people the money, now money no they. They eat everything. Don't let the government sell them, cut the loss and will move on. No have to wait for this. That's not my brother. Thank you
very much, Umar. Thank you, sir. Yes, call ID live on here. Your name and who side you call from, please.
Yeah, let me talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to buttress waiting to maybe the talk by submission. We need to make reference to countries like Kenya and I think Guinea, then private, then companies, then agencies, then people and they, even though they're like Africans just like us, their attitude is quite different from we Sierra Leoneans when it comes to work ethics. You know, those people then really committed to work, you know, and then also like we Salon people, then people in the world and get the government agencies then like that, then they put their time and effort on it for make them succeed. Not to Salon. Salon, you go work my agencies then, and social corruption, mismanagement, and lackadaisical attitude. Me, when I did Salon, I work for one government agency and know how they operate. They don't care. They're not busy. Political interference, like when they talk about the guy they talk, say this minister or that head of big man they call, say, and then do this, do that, you know, then they change people, they're like silver man, and they change clothes every day. This can be bringing your own person, the other can bring your own person, you know, and social political stuff, you know, and mismanagement. Even the people themselves where they work there, where they don't see some of all these things, and so it happen, then self they become corrupt, you know, then self they find ways and means for it. Because they see say the bosses them and the ministers that really run them, the agencies and they depend on corruption. Like for one agency where I know when I've been selling, when I've been going to generate money, when the ministers then come in the car with them and then bag, load them and briefcase with money and go. And you know when they work with them, the lead, you see that they happen, you know, then think that they go on your mind. If you never control your mind, you say they join the game. That's how they operate. Some agencies, then most of the agencies, then if you ask, they don't pay even government taxes because government normally they allow them for keep the taxes them for help them, but that taxes they eat them because the agency women they work for they pay tax. Then they get the tax money, then say then they put her into for development for the agency, for the agency to move forward. But in the meantime, not let them really develop, not let them really go before. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Ayo. Nancy the ask you say, how are you able for one country if you're not even able to manage a company? Mama Kagbo says, let the government say SierraTel to say we go make people lady see you. Yeah? I see the before you say government say they want sell, just know say the buyer don't do already. Yeah? Now that they tell we say people that don't begin bid. No. They already know that they forget them. But on a more serious note, Bendu Kamara say, he say, they talk about corruption. Most people, they talk about politics. He said, but now the issue then this, where they affect everyone. When we say, if we get proper system in place, we, the Sierra Leoneans then, government for able to sell, I'll just use an example, say 50%. Government go able to sell 50% shares then to we, the people of Sierra Leone, make we buy them, make we save help say, now we able to help for make SierraTel team up. But because of the experience we all sabi na each and every government-owned institution na Sierra Leone, for say, as long as this is government-owned, as long as this person is in a government they work for, better know they come out today. You know what I for be like for talk to most of the workers them? Because these workers them, they know say they know they make money, but now the same one they all say make them privatize. The one the way they say they don't work there for 35 years, the one they say they don't work there for let them talk to them, ba. Do they usually, okay, you say you don't work for 35 years, you the grumble say they know they pay you. You know say the company name make money. What do you feel say the company for able to do for make money? Because if you don't work here for 35 years, 28 years, 15 years, then everything else they go down the drain. You feel saying that the one they up no more. What do you they do for contribute to that for make it go down the drain? Or what do you they do for make it not go down the drain, but it be like say you they see things them we not correct? Because this now everybody in responsibility. One, SierraTel is government owned. SierraTel are government owned. So we for even gladly able for save SierraTel. But Salomon, and they call now say me them privatize. Tripoli, Tokanaya, the 23rd of September 2020. Make them privatize SierraTel just now. Make the new owners the way go come, begin bat then one and they will be the call for privatization gonna do. Now the same people they will go begin for Allah say this and that and this and what not. Because they not look down the road for see waiting it go get for cost them. They not look. Because if you they tell me say you don't work in a place for 35 years, 28 years, 20 years, 15 years, and this business is not thriving, what have you been doing? The manager in Pune say, hey, me, look who stay a come. They were the grumble no more, but there is still an age-old problem. We be don't deny. So then just one can't grumble no more now. But yes, the manager gets an onus because you were given the responsibility for say you meet this company in any kind of way you meet them, you for able for raise them up. You for able. And if you claim say, then they call you from above, say, make you fire post way not needed for fire or this and that. You have give you a resignation letter. Say, you know what, and I cannot work like this, and so I they left, and because I they left, now so and so reason, now I make I they left. Sometimes we can then now they say it, but when you look again, government is the highest employer in our country. How many companies do we have there? Well, be say if you do so against government, Even their other company, let's say now Orange and Africell and this, they won't even hire you. Because they say they try for lobby to government. So if government don't blacklist you, virtually, you know, go see them, you know, they that paper, virtually then blacklist you, there's no way again where they go hire you. But number one thing where they kill SierraTel now, where they still fasting by this thing is CDMA. Where they still fasting by them. Everybody where they come, na GSM. What thing makes SierraTel still fasting CDMA? Why? Even though they no say it's not viable, it's not profitable for them. It's not profitable. So now make me back, I still the one that say the manager will come. What's in don't do? Other than paint the building, say in the do this promo, in do that promo, this and that, but what exactly in do? Because I believe say SierraTel able to get access for get the fastest internet in Sierra Leone. They're able. We for make everybody drive towards SierraTel. But mama, papa, yeah, difficult. But again, sometimes beaucoup thing they way the MD no one talk. So that one they just chook and they no more. And the Minister of Information, when they ask him, he diverts. Then they ask him about SierraTel, they talk about Salpost. I don't know if you be catch up that side. They talk about SierraTel, in a drug Salpost, you can't say. No, they talk about Salpost. Salpost, what they do, they can't talk about that. But talk about SierraTel now. Government, state-owned institution, they're all they go. Because waiting though. We the people from 19 Zot who don't get now we mind for destroy government-owned institution, not knowing to see now we safe we they do. Because no matter what, what will they pay now for SierraTel? If SierraTel go private, we're not going to be paying that. Then go bump them up. So you get for cost me now more. Look Salpost back there in a corner. So is there no one we go able to come and say, we can do this? We definitely, you know what in Puel Salon? Na politics. I bet you somebody somewhere, if you don't right now, they listen. Or don't hear read this about SierraTel closure. We think say, me, I have the mechanism. If no more, then give me the willpower. But trust me, they won't. They won't. They're not going to be able to get that willpower, they. Say come. Because first thing, go ask you for party card. Politics, na don't pull salon. Na don't pull all the institution them. Because each person will come, each administration will come in political party people, now they want give work. So you feel say government-owned institution go able for team up? Because the one them where they make and break, them position the way they make and break. Now people them way they for able for direct, then they give. Because the man where they under, now waiting the person where they top say, now you get for do. But I'm not going to be surprised. Say with waiting talk so. Waiting he talk the MD. You know for last night that chair day. Or then we just get the benefits of the doubt, but they can't privatize. So in this are even numbered. But politics don't well every government-owned institution as alone. Politics. In fact, apart from government, politics if I don't pull alone. I don't pull alone. We wait and see. how this game get for play. They don't go as far as suicide, they don't go now. We then do with this and get for comeback, sal post, and do with them. Wait, what's next? Sierra Leone Cable Limited, and every perfect pass on bundle, privatize that section there, that. Waiting next week, we will see now we own everything. Because even this, it's government owned. Make we ask waiting they don't do. Waiting they don't do. For able for save SierraTel, say privatization a last resort. What have they done? Alaji Selassie say, look no more. Look Sprint don't join on with T-Mobile because waiting do. Then customer number be don't go down. Now, she say, in the suggest say, if they in the sell, may they sell them to a Sierra Leonean. Oh, because we already know. Look for slow, no go far. That bridge. The bridge, where the bridge broke. Who that first reach they not to Gento, a Sierra Leone owned company, a Sierra Leonean owned company. Now Gento first reach they. Where government ready for you, who that then give the contract? Now the Chinese company they go give contract. Chinese company for make that bridge no more, not to 300 billion balance. So you even Gento now first reach they go to tractors overnight. It begin for work. They begin for work. By the end of the day, they're not getting the contract. They're not getting. So that one way Nancy they say, for make this, they sell out to Sierra Leonean, how will they wait? Saloon? Now wait till we get 10 billion. 10 billion in Nengi. CRSG. I think CRSG now then they in charge of the toll road. Yes, I think so. CRSG now then they in charge of toll road. Now then Nengi for make yanda. So Gento will first reach there. I think he went there with the hopes, say if he first don't reach, because of that company then they, any in a local, for support the local, he first don't reach. He don't begin out of your own. If you say then go get the contract. CSC, Sefuna CSC, when I say sending a Gali's own and not get them. Before that, now the Chinese then go give. So you the wonder where you see from where this thing begin. From where this thing begin. Where China just the lobby, they give all kind gifts. Who say left phone and no don't give something? What about that, And for that kind here. How young Sierra Leonean we force reach day. They not getting the contract. They not getting. But then give the Chinese then. So this one then they say for make salon. Oh, who they wait? Bendu Kamara say if you get a tele company in Sierra Leone, you know go hire any employee from a failed company. Bendu Kamara again he say now ultimate politics I mean they not give Gento the contract. Alaji Selassie, but una no say everything as salon politics. Even if you go buy people in the market, they must say that either APC or SLPP so. Yes, salon. Tony say, even the beach theft, then go privatize and just theft, then get chance. All thing, you want privatize. It's not the benefits of all the get. What's in the profit all they get? God help we. We'll go there back tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow a big day. Yeah, tomorrow the white paper they come out too. Tomorrow will be a busy day. That's so. Ah, wait, tomorrow I get for your ya. Where the white paper they come out. Yeah. And then kind topic then they me lawyer like. That's so. Yes, tomorrow Thursday. Tomorrow Thursday, and the white paper they come out. We they wait. But I don't tell we say the white paper, and then they pull and not for say, then they can't pull and say, but then they can't be get arrest people. Would I not glad he get the right for going to court and go defend himself? For now. Now so he come off us. So they wait. Yeah, for the white paper. Momo Kagbo say they give the Chinese the contract because the government not get the money for pay up front. But then say na 10 billion leons, now you get for cost. 10 billion for make that bridge day. So gentle Obi don't take in tractors them and everything go, they get for go winch, they all come on back. And that is the last thing that tomorrow this corner. I know. I like to do the rest. White paper. The long-awaited white paper tomorrow, night they come on. We are waiting Thursday, the 25th. The 24th of September. But still yet, no stress. So. No stress. There. Ben come say this not to process, not to progress, my people them. How we go able to get any sign in terms of progress with any kind of thing? That's true. Till we meet tomorrow on white paper Thursday. Triple AC, Tata.